Hi guys, this is Brigitte and welcome to my vegan family kitchen. I just want to show you today how I make a very simple pasta dish for my lunch today using simple whole foods ingredients, and it is a demonstration of what I call my instant sauce strategy, and I will be making this today using my favorite pasta, which comes from Molisana. This is fusilli corti bucati, forgive my Italian accent. I will be serving that with some homemade pesto that I made last week, which is carrot top kale pesto. We can talk about that in a separate video, how to make pesto, but you can also make do with a commercially available vegan pesto, or really other kinds of kind of thick spreads, whether it's vegan cream cheese or hummus. It would be the same strategy. I'm going to use some nice lovely tomatoes here that I got from my CSA box, and I found some leftover chickpeas that I will put on top. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. The first step is to bring water to a boil so that I can cook the pasta. Here are my chickpeas. They're just leftover chickpeas that I had cooked, I guess, last weekend. And I have added some cumin, turmeric, Aleppo pepper. You can put whatever you feel like. Smoked paprika would be a good choice too. I have about I think a quarter teaspoon salt. And I am going to add just a tablespoon of aquafaba here. You could use a teaspoon of olive oil. It would not be a big deal. Or if you like, you can also use a little water, a little broth. It doesn't matter, but it will just help get the seasonings stick. And of course I added fresh ground pepper because it is super important to help with the absorption of the turmeric compounds. I am now going to just spread the chickpeas, scrape off the spices so they don't get lost, on top of a tiny quarter sheet baking sheet, and put them in my toaster oven. A bit smoky in there for, I don't know, as long as it takes for the pasta to cook. And it is at 400 degrees on double convection, which is kind of like an air fryer. The water is now boiling for my pasta, so I'm putting my lovely Sparrow Bucati pasta in the pot, giving it a good stir right now. Would you like to know what's in the pesto? Here it is. Okay, I had really nice carrots last week from my CSA box, and the tops were still attached, so I just quickly blanched the carrot tops. And I had kale, so I added the kale with it, and I blended after cooking them until they were just like for a minute. It's just really to make them a little bit more tender. I took everything out of the boiling water. I put that in the blender with a little bit of the cooking water, and I added walnuts, nutritional yeast, lemon juice, and garlic. And that makes my pesto. I like it to be a little bit chunky, and it will be a perfect addition to my pasta today. And now the water is boiling. I make sure to, stir it a little bit, not to make it overboil, because then you have to clean. And my next step, since I'm waiting anyway for the next 8 minutes, 7 minutes, I'm going to be cutting those little tomatoes just because I have them, and I'm going to add them to my pasta dish. Okay guys, the pasta is ready. So I turn off the heat. I use my measuring cup here with a handle to get about 3/4 cup of pasta, water, and I will now drain the pasta. The pasta has been drained. The pot is empty. I've put it back on the stove, but the element is turned off. I'm going to scoop in a generous quantity of pesto. Don't ask me how much it is. It looks like about, I don't know, 3/4 cup. Okay, like this. Now I'm going to add the cooked pasta back into the hot pot, but off you know, the heat is turned off. I'm going to give this a preliminary stir. You can see, and I'm going to, the pesto is very thick, so I'm adding about half of the cooking water that I had retained, and I'm giving this a good stir. Feeling a noodle. I'm pretty hungry. Okay, just giving this again a very good stir. Lovely sauce is uniformly covering my noodles. Do not forget the chickpeas. Here they are. They cooked for about, I think, 15 minutes, probably less than that. And now is the best part. I'm just going to pour the pasta. I've waited a minute or two. You know what, I'll just add a smidgen more water so it's nice and wet. Not wet, but you know, I like it to be saucy. Here you go, that's my pasta for lunch, another stray noodle. Okay, here come the chickpeas with the nice turmeric. We'll save some of the chickpeas for my lunch for tomorrow. And of course, the fresh tomatoes. And that's it. Here's my pasta lunch. It's a pretty generous lunch. I'm a hungry person, and I will have those wonderful greens and the nuts and the chickpeas and the fresh tomatoes all together for a really yummy, delicious, pretty simple lunch. And here we go, digging in. A little bit of pasta, a little bit of chickpea, and I'll leave the tomato for later. Moisana is worth going to the Italian grocery store. It's so good. Enough with tomatoes. We'll see you again soon in my vegan family kitchen.